And I have to be honest, I'm feeling quite cosy here, just sitting in, well, let me show you. Here's where I'm sitting, Paynton Zoo. So let's do the reading for the fourth Sunday in Lent, which is the 30th of March. For reflection, this is from Brother Bernard, who was an Anglican Franciscan in great demand as a spiritual director at the time of this book's writing, which was, says he fumbling and thinking I should have done this before, 2014. And he writes, "Open to God. Tremulously I came to our society hoping to bring my life together in God. I'm still working at it, or rather working hard to let go into what God is doing for me. People have helped me, both spiritual directors, religious superiors, peers, and the people in many places that I've been given the opportunity to serve. The daily discipline of prayer so much more catered for and safeguarded than most people's, put me in the way of learning to pray without ceasing, 1 Thessalonians 5:17. But I suppose that what gets in the way is the struggles within myself to trust and put aside anxiety and worldly considerations. The trust to put away that anxiety, the free-flowing anger, the desire to possess the irrational sense of being hard done by, or of it not being fair. Does this all make sense? I can see why God got me to use this book. It is a struggle with all things that I can be open to God, ready for His will, and not dominated by the resolve in myself or by the powers of evil. This makes up my daily life, he says. And it's such a relief when I choose with God and make it happen. Many people have much less choice about the big things in life than I have had. Sheer survival, getting something for themselves and their families to eat, occupies most of their attention. Or in our most affluent world, the struggle to find any job makes it a luxury to ask questions like, is this what I'm called to? I must take any job that brings in the bread, and happens a bit with the boredom and worthless feelings with marginalised and disparate. In this world, how I get on with people at home and at work and at the pub or the club occupy most of my inner attention, with little opportunity to discover that all these relationships are grounded in the one who loves us beyond our imagining. So I cannot but consider myself a very lucky person to have such a range of opportunities, variety of work and interest, the chance to go to other parts of the world and to cross many cultural lines, to have deep intimacy and loving relationships with people of all ages and both sexes, and to have all this grounded in God, who alone gives us purpose in life. Not always actually to feel lucky in just part of how we are, but deep down to be thankful. I'm glad I'm not God, having to deal with such delicacy with so many millions of people in so many settings. And actually I've just recorded and played at a Bible study Desmond Tutu saying exactly the same thing. I never want to be God. And also he says, let alone having to count the very hairs on people's heads and knowing every sparrow that falls to the ground. But I'm glad to know, or partly know, such a God, to have some little share in what he is all about. For I do not know much about what life would be for otherwise. And for those who can't name him yet, and only know him through all other things, I want to do all I can to put them in the way of being lucky too. For the best luck of all is to know God and to have fellowship with him. And in Philippians, Paul writes, I have learned to be content with whatever I have. Let's remind myself of that again. I have learned to be content with whatever I have. And so a prayer to you, dear Lord, all hearts are open. From you no secrets are hidden. I stand in your presence knowing that you welcome me. Fill me with the joy that you have made me in all the world, that I am a forgiven sinner, that you have room for me in your heart, and that I am yours now and forever. Amen. And amen.